Shalom, 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 Yasha Allah. This your boy, Brother Shamwa Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called The Sea Camps Are Coming. The sea camps are coming. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. I came across this article. This is from Common Dreams, and it says, Babylonian military helping Nero to build massive network of concentration camps, Navy contract reveals. All right. So the Babylonian military helping Nero to build massive network of concentration camps, Navy contract reveals. It says, in the wake of immigration agents deleting of three Babylonian citizens within a matter of weeks, the Department of Homeland Security is quietly moving forward with a plan to expand its capacity for mass detention by using a military contract to create what Pablo Manriquez, the author of the immigration news site Migrant Insider, calls a nationwide ghost network of concentration camps. All right. It says on Sunday, Manriquez reported that a massive Navy contract vehicle, once valued at $10 billion, has ballooned to a staggering $55 billion ceiling to expedite President Nero's mass deportation agenda. It says it is the expansion of the contract first reported on in October by CNN, which found that the DHS was funneling $10 billion through the Navy to help facilitate the construction of a sprawling network of migrant detention centers across Babylon. It says, in an arrangement aimed at getting the centers built faster, according to the source and federal contracting documents. All right. So it says a proposed Navy contract to funnel tens of billions to ICE for a nationwide ghost network of concentration camps just got a lot bigger. It says the reports describe the money as being allocated for new detention centers, which are likely to be primarily soft-sided tents and may or may not be built on existing Navy installations. According to the source familiar with the initiative, DHS has often leaned on soft-sided facilities to manage influx of migrants. According to a source familiar with the project, the goal is for the facilities to house as many as 10,000 people each and are expected to be built in Louisiana, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Utah, and Kansas. It says now Manriquez reports that the project has just gotten much bigger after the Navy grant was repurposed weeks ago. It says it authorized through a worldwide expeditionary multiple award contract, a flexible purchasing system that the government uses to quickly move military equipment to dangerous and remote parts of the world. It says the contract states that the money is being repurposed for Titus. It says an abbreviation for territory integrity of the United States. It says while it is not unusual for the Navy contracts to be used for expeditionaries aimed at protecting the nation. Manriquez warned that such a staggering movement of funds for the domestic detention points to something ominous. It says this $45 billion increase published just weeks ago converts the Babylonians into a geographic region for expeditionary military style detention. All right. It's a single, it signals a massive long-term escalation in government's capacity to pay detention and deportation logistics. It says in the world of federal contracting, it is the difference between a temporary surge and a permanent infrastructure. He says the use of the military funding mechanisms is meant to disperse funds quickly without typically bidding war among contractors, which would typically create a period of public scrutiny. Using the Navy contract means that new projects can be created with task orders, which can be turned around almost immediately when specific dates and locations are identified. So it means the infrastructure is currently a ghost network that can be materialized anywhere in Babylon the moment a site is picked. Okay, so you see, all right, they're creating these concentration camps, as they say, and when you go, this is a picture of them. All right, so it says warehouses identified by ICE to convert into immigration detention facilities. Okay, and it says you see how they have the number based upon how big, the circle is. Okay, and so you see you have Utah, Arizona, Minnesota, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, Virginia, New York, New Hampshire, right? So you have all these different facilities, all right? And it says the 23 sites depicted are part of the agency's warehouse plans. Sites could be changed or removed, okay? It says the planned 9,500 beds in Hutchinson, Texas could fit the daily average jail population of all of Dallas County with thousands of beds to spare. All right. So, they're saying that they're using it for, deportation or whatever, but I thought the whole point was to get them and to send them away. That's what they were first doing, right? They were getting them, putting them on planes, sending them elsewhere. All right. So, but these camps, all right, we understand, what their true mission is. Okay. Let's get that real quick. All right, let's go to 2 Corinthians 2 and verse number 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right, and we understand, the mission. All right, the mission is to have everybody micro C-hipped. All right, those RFID C-hips. All right, so we understand what their ultimate goal is. Okay, and setting up these facilities, all right, these warehouses identified, right, these warehouse facilities, for what? Ultimately, when this implementation, all right, for the MOTB, all right, guess what? They're going to be snatching people and taking them to these places, all right, to these facilities, all right. If you don't want to, you know, if you don't want to go along with the get along, you know. um, let's get that right. Let's get this real quick, Salakia. Come on. Revelation. Let's get this real quick. Revelation 12 and verse number 12. Right, and you see they're pushing it into movement now. What they're doing is if they're putting it under a Navy contract, now they don't necessarily have to put it out to the public, right? Because they're just redistributing the funds, all right, and so they're while everybody's more than likely watching, you know, uh, their sports and their different things to keep them distracted, right? They're doing these type things, right? They're buying up warehouses, all right. You even see how you have these and I've seen, other videos where, they've had what is that, Walmarts and different places that they've basically gutted out, right? And they've closed them up. All right. Look, just think about in your major city right now, right? You have, uh, the malls are pretty much gone away with. All right. So now you have these open facilities to do what? To implement, right? To detain people in these different facilities. Okay. So if you need mass, ones, you have this stuff going on. All right. So this is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." Okay, this devil knows he has a short time, and he's working, overtime. All right, he's putting in this stuff to get this stuff rolling. All right, we see what's going on. All right now, they're getting all these, and you see on the map over here, what is there? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. There's about 7, over, with 10,000 plus beds. All right, and much more. I'm sure that you already know there's going to be more. All right, because it's going to be all throughout. All right, this new world order system that they want to implement. Right, this is Rome 2.0. All right, um, and their agenda. All right, this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image and the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right. So what do you think is going to be happening in these concentration camps? All right. When they start to implement, right? Revelation 13:16 says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand of their foreheads." Uh, and it says, "And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." Okay. So, hey, if you're not going to get along with this system, all right, what do you think they're going to do? Right? Round you up, put you in these concentration camps, right? Or just straight up just try to delete you. All right. So, and you see that they're setting this stuff up now, man. Right? While everybody is looking over here, they're doing it right there in front of you. Okay. So think about that. All right. They're setting this stuff up. All right. And you got these warehouses. Okay. And there's going to be more. All right. You see, this is just little parts. All right. It's not the full scale of it. All right. It says, you see at the bottom, it says, "Note, the 23 sites depicted are part of the agency's warehouse plans. Sites could be changed or removed." Okay? And we understand, all right, that they're going to be a lot more open. All right? They're coming and they're pushing their agenda, okay? And their agenda, wants everybody sea-hipped. All right? They want everybody with this charagma. All right? Let's get it. Charagma. They want everybody to receive this mark.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Right? Charagma. All right? A stamp, imprinted mark of the mark stamped, the mark branded upon thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. Okay? And we understand that the root word is karax. All right?
Strong's G 5482. Charax. Charax.
right? Qadash. It says to sharpen to a point, all right, through the idea of scratching, right? Because ultimately that point, right, is you have that tool, that you see that goes into the skin, and what does it do? It injects that RFID C hip. Okay, you have Musket, right? Who's doing his brain one, his brain C hip. Okay, so these things are all here. All right, we know that the technology is here. We know that it has to be mandatory implementation. Okay, and so what are they doing? They're getting everything set up. All right, so you have these concentration camps that are going to be set up. All right, they're setting them up now through ICE, but ultimately this is going to be, with this and other facilities, you would already assume, all right, if you don't want to get down, are you going to go to these facilities? All right, and in these facilities, what do you think is going to be happening? All right, are you taking this? No, you're not. All right, what the scriptures tell you. Um, and I saw a little bit of Elder Apostle Gabar was going into, you know, um, the guillotines. Okay, this is Revelation chapter 20, verse 4, and it says, "And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahawashi, and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark or the charagma upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach, by Yahawashi, 1,000 years." Okay, so those, the scriptures talk about those who are going to be beheaded. Okay, those who are going to be beheaded. All right, and what do you think is going to be happening in these concentration camps that they're doing? Right, they're getting all this stuff ready at the end of the day, while everybody is, caught up in the cares of this world, caught up in the Super Bowl hype and this, that, and the other. Right, they're setting this agenda up, man. They're setting this up for it. All right, and it's gonna cause a lot of people. They're gonna be caught off guard. Okay, when they start to roll this, right? Because if the whole point of ICE is to identify those folks, and deport them, what do you need all these detention camps for? All right, there's another reason. All right, and this is that reason that's coming up. All right, you can't be ignorant. All right, to Satan's devices, his plans and his schemes. We understand what their ultimate goal is. Okay, all right, and we call it out. So we see these things, and we stand on the tower, right, and we yell and we scream and point. All right. So I just wanted to do this, quick lesson. I saw this article, and it just had my, my ears and my mind going. All right, just understanding that, what this entails. Okay, so I'll leave it at that, right? Lord's will, this was edifying. All right, but with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Kohala Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rechach Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad, and mighty Shalom to the 144,000 men. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS who ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days. Another mighty Shalom to the rest of the elect in the household of faith, man. All right, be diligent. All right, continue to watch and pray. All right, Luke tells you, watch ye therefore and pray, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things. All right, and to see the Son of Man, to stand before the Son of Man. Okay, and we see that these things are all starting to roll out, man. Everything is coming together. All right, you see all the ducks. What do they say? The ducks lining up in a row. Okay, and these camps that they're doing, right? We understand what this is about. All right, so with that, we say a ball, and shalom.